Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining me this morning. Back here once again to continue um, what we are, to continue our uh, interview session, mock interview session for F1 visas. And before that, before we start taking care of our callers, I have a few things I wanted to address. If you look at the caption, you will see that we're trying to get people to pay attention to the main things, which is who, what, why, when, and where. These are most of the essential questions that sometimes when they come to candidates, they usually digress, and most time people don't pay attention to some of these very important questions, and they think maybe they can just override, or maybe they don't understand. So I'm here to draw your attention to those fundamental questions. And because your VOs are body language experts, when they ask you certain questions, they expect you to respond to those questions. And your ability to answer those questions simply so your ability to answer those questions simply will tell them that either you are honest or you're dishonest or you are hiding something. So it's always going to work against you when you ask the question and you don't attend to that question. So in order to avoid some of these problems, that's why I'm here to address them, to bring them up, because they are very subtle but very important. And those questions usually come in such a way like our everyday conversation. And we use all these things every day, sometimes because we have become so much familiarized with those words, such a way that we tend to lose grip of how important they can be for us or against us during an interview. So that's why I'm here to address them. The first one, first of all, I mentioned it in my caption. I said those questions are usually how, who, what, where, when, where, and why. So these questions usually come this way. They may ask you a question about who. Who is usually used to describe a person. When the question comes about who is sponsoring you, who is sponsoring your program, who is taking care of your program, they want you to go straight to the point. And I encourage people, the subtle, the succinct, the better. The fewer words you use, the better for you. Don't just go into explanation unless they want you to explain. And if they need more questions from you, they would want you to explain. Do not go into answering questions that you were not asked. So that's why I'm trying to mention this. So the first question is who. When they ask you about that, is usually about a person. They want you to talk about a person. Who is sponsoring you? Who is your father? What does your father do? These questions are usually used for descriptions. So the second one is what. So what is about, they want you to talk about is an inquiry. They want to inquire about something, an identity, a nature, a value of an object or a matter. For instance, what does a father do? That's an inquiry. They want to know about that. What do you do for a living? Or what are you studying? All those kind of stuff. They don't, if they ask you something about what and you start answering about how, that's not the question. They may, for you, in your mind, okay, you think you answered the question, but you didn't remember that there was a particular, the construction, the literary construction is what. So you might find yourself digressing because you were asked a very simple question and then you started answering another one. Then the next one is why. When your VO says why did you go to Kenya? Why did you go to Ghana? Why did you go to this place? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why did you choose this course? They are asking you simply, for what cause? What is the reason? What is the purpose? These are very simple semantic construction, literary construction for you to articulate, for you to pay attention. So do not just digress into answering something else. So I just want to highlight on this. Then the next one is when. When they ask you about when, it's just very simple. For instance, when did you visit this place? Or when did you do this? When did you apply? When did you get your admission? When did you choose this course? They are simply asking you about the time, the circumstance. And when it comes to when, it's usually time sensitive. There are two types of time. When you talk about time, in Greek, you have kairos and chronos. Kairos simply means the recorded time. Then chronos is your recorded time. So when they ask you about this, it's just for you to pay attention to the circumstance, to the time. What time? They're asking you about the time frame. So you need to pay attention to that. When they ask you about when, don't answer about why or who when they say when. Then the next one is where. When they say, where did you study? Where did you do your first degree? Where did you work? Where did you meet? Where did you apply? These are simply to ask you about place or position or location. So pay attention to some of these nuances because they can get you into trouble with sending a wrong signal about your identity. So if a VO says, ask you any of these questions, or how is also to inquire about a situation. So they don't ask you about why and you go into who, or you go into when, or you go into what. Stick with the question. Stick to that. Just don't keep digressing. So these are some of the ways that your VOs will simply analyze you. And they have this policy sometimes, depending on the person you're meeting. Once they suspect doubt in during the interview, that interview is over. If your VO, for any reason, suspect doubt during your conversation with them, forget that interview. The reason why you go for interview is for you to convince your VO that yes, that you are what giving this visa. Not that you are what, but that this visa, if I give it to you, it's you've been able to convince me. So if you go there and you're not able to convince your VO because you raise some doubts, they are going to stop. They will not give you a visa. So you need to just pay attention to that. Then other things I wanted to mention, maybe a few other things I wanted to mention is before you go for interviews, please make sure you know everything on your I-20. You see that I-20? Make sure you have every details on that document. You don't have to memorize it, but you need to know. If you have to, you must have you must have been able to read that I-20 very well, know the details of every information on your I-20, beginning from your school, beginning from who is sponsoring you, beginning from your school location, your contact person in school, every detail. A lot of people, just go in for interviews out of ignorance, or they feel like, okay, you've covered this area. There is nothing like, okay, I've covered everything about my visa interview, because you don't know where questions are gonna come from. So, which is also basically what I always tell candidates when I speak with them during interviews. That what I'm doing here is just to guide your ideological wavelength. I'm not there to give you what to say, because what you will say will come from your VO based on your case. Every case is unique. Every case is different and is treated according to your program and according to what you answered. So do not walk into that visa officer unit, or do not walk into that embassy without knowing all the things on your I-20. Don't try that. Then the next one is, do not also go for your interview without knowing, in fact, without memorizing everything you filled up in your DS-160. Every information you filled up there, make sure you know them, because if a question comes out from there, you should be able to talk about it like this is your own document. That's why they will, at the end of the DS-160, they will ask you a question. Did you fill this up by yourself, or someone helped you to fill it up? So this is the reason why they're asking that, to make sure that whatever question that they present to you, that you are the one who filled it up. And if you're not able to answer those questions, then there's a problem. And if you raise a doubt, then you're not going to have your visa, because you just raised a red flag. So every document you'll be presenting to your VO, please make sure you know them and you understand them. Do not just collect documents from people, bank statements or anything, and then you don't know what is inside. You don't know what those documents are saying. These are some of the things you need to really avoid. So with that said, I'm going to go in with our mock interview sessions. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. Ayokunle, Oladeji, David, Faith, Joel, Judith, Taiwo. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I know this is coming in too early, and yeah, I wanted to have this session before I go to bed, so I crave your indulgence about doing this, taking this route this morning for the first time. So I think we're going to try. I don't know who is ready for interview. If you're ready, let me know. We can start with that. But meanwhile, click on the link. I don't know if you've subscribed to the YouTube channels. If you haven't, please take your time and subscribe. If you're ready for interviews, just raise your hand and then we can I can begin with you. Okay, David, you're ready. When is your date? David, do you have a question? You raised your hand. Hello? Hello? I can't hear him. I don't know if he's still there. All right. I don't know who is ready. If you're ready, let's go.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is David.
All right, David, are you ready?
Okay. Yes, sir. I wanted to mock interview. I'm on F2. My wife is F1.
Okay, when is your date? Okay, when is your date?
Are you with me, sir?
Yeah, when is your date?
Yes, I wanted a mock interview.
Did you hear the question I asked?
For F2.
Are you hearing me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear me.
I said, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I said, when is your date?
Next 2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks. All right, let's go.
On the 19th. Okay.
So where are you traveling to?
I'm traveling to the DePaul University, Chicago, USA.
Sorry, your voice is breaking. What did you say again?
I said I'm traveling with my wife and kids
No.
to DePaul University.
Yeah, remember your F2 will be there with you, so you don't have to go into that. The question is a very simple question. Where are you traveling to? And when they ask you about it, remember what I said about these questions. When they ask you this, all you need to provide is the name of your school and the location of your school. All right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Let the questions come. Let the questions come from your VO. Don't speak more than you are asked.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So I'll go again. Where are you traveling to?
DePaul University, Chicago.
And what are you going there to do?
I'm going there with my wife to help my wife settle down.
So your wife is F1 or F2?
F1. I'm
F2. I need to be, this interview is supposed to be with an F1, not F2. So the visa is not attached to you. You are just a secondary person. So the F1 should be the one I should be talking to, not you. I will talk with you on maybe 24 hours before the interview, before your interview. So I would like to speak with both of you maybe 24 hours or 48 hours before your interview. But the principal person for visa is your wife, which is F1. So I don't have to have this conversation with you because some of the.
She's here. You can. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Let me check you guys. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
So I don't know if you understand. I'm trying to speak with your husband. I'm trying to explain to him that the principal person for F1 visa is yourself, not him. So, sir, I want to also to remind you that on the day of that interview, to avoid as much as possible from interfering during the interview, unless you are asking questions. Because when you push too forward, that can send the red flag. So if the visa is hinged, your visa is hinged on your wife's F1. All right.
Okay.
All right. So are you ready to talk?
Okay. Let me try. So I was prepared for I can try. I can't.
All right. I'll still be here. I'll still come up for another session later in the day. So you don't have to, because it looks like he ambushed you. So you can join. Just subscribe on the YouTube. I just sent it into the chat. Subscribe on the YouTube. Once I go online live, you should be able to have this same link, and you should be able to join. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I did it today.
Pardon? Yes, today I'll be on live. I'm off today, so I'll be on live again today to conduct another session.
Okay. What time, sir?
That should be about 2, about 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah, about about 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Which should be about I think about 8. About 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Nigerian US time.
Okay, sir. All right, sir.
All right.
Sir. All right, sir.
All right. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Who is next? Who is next? Hello? All right. Yetunde, you said you're ready. Yeah, just come in if you're ready. The link is there on the chat. So just chat me as soon as you can. I think I need to get this on. Yeah, on the I think it's on the, yeah. If you're chatting me from YouTube, please click on the link. The link was sent at alongside the Meet, the Google Meet that we are using to communicate. So click on the link. The second link is the link for this conversation. All right, Yetunde, you find it wherever you found this link for the YouTube. You also find the same link alongside on that. So I'm going to be posting that later, but on the chat, it's there. Yeah, who is raising hands? Who else is there? Yeah, if you're ready to go for an interview, just come in.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very fine, thank you.
So, are you in for interview?
Yes, I am.
All right. Where are you traveling to?
I'm going to University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign.
You're going to the University of what?
Illinois, Urbana-Champaign.
Yeah. So
for my master's degree in law.
okay. So that S is silence. Okay.
Okay.
It's called Illinois. So these are some of the nuances.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois. The S is silence. So your ability to pronounce some of these locations also can also explain to your VO your good knowledge of the area, and then it's simply to your own credit that okay, you've done a research, you know how to pronounce some of these places, and it makes more sense personally to me. So I don't know about any other person, but they are very subtle, but they're very important. So when they ask you where are you going to, they are simply asking you about um, your school. They're asking you about your school and the location of your school. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So um, so I'll ask you again. Where are you going to?
I'm going to the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign.
What are you going there to do?
I'm going for my master's degree in law.
All right. And why did you choose this course? What's so important to you about this course?
After I chose this course because I majored in law. I majored in law for my first degree, and this would give me an opportunity. This would give me an opportunity to serve my clients better, to get the required knowledge that I need to serve my clients.
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Did you hear what I said?
I heard you very well.
I chose this course. Okay. Okay, I chose this course because it provides me with the required knowledge to improve my services to my clients, I also majored in law for my first degree.
So okay. I don't mean to cut you short. I know I know I heard when you said it the first time and then you're rephrasing it. Your answers are very correct. But what your VOs are looking for is, so what you just mentioned now seemed like a blanket statement, like a general statement. Nothing makes you stand out like from every other person. Anybody can just come in and say that. But what makes you stand out is for you to provide a case study. When you say to serve your clients, how? You see where those questions I mentioned. I don't know if you were here when we started. So they want to know how. They want to know when, how, where, what, all those detailed. That's what they're looking for. If you say to be able to serve your clients, how would you serve your clients? In what ways? Do you understand? So your VOs want you to apply a practical sense to this experience. They want you to appropriate this experience. They want you to personalize it. How is this service to your clients? How is it personal to you? What makes it special to you? That's what they're looking for. So is there any way you can make it apply it to yourself? Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so try it. Let's see how you make that possible.
Okay. What's the question again?
I said, why did you choose this course?
Okay, during a case that I did in court on the 7th of October, I had knowledge and expertise in the areas of domestic violence, separation and divorce. So I chose this course because it helped me gain the knowledge and expertise I need to serve my clients better by defending them in court.
Okay, let me give you an instance. Okay, so my duty right now is not to give you what to say, but to guide your ideological wavelength. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So if the VO says, why did you choose this course? I usually encourage people to use bullet points. Bullet points will help you to suspend the attention of your VO on you. It's just like, it works like a paragraph. When a VO engages you in a conversation, what they are looking out for is to pay attention to the points you're detailing out. But when you talk straight, they probably will not be able to follow your line of thought. So what the bullet points does is to hold your attention, hold the attention on you. For instance, if you say, I chose this course for 5 reasons or for 3 reasons. If you say, I chose this course for 3 reasons or for 5 reasons, they are going to focus that attention on you until you finish talking. So let's say, why did you choose this course? I chose this course because I majored in my first degree. I majored in law in my first degree. And how many years have you been working as a lawyer?
I've been working for a few months.
When did you graduate?
I graduated January 2022.
Okay, 2022. So you just worked for 7 months or 8 months.
And then I proceeded to law school for a year.
So which graduation are you talking about? Are you talking about graduation from law school or graduation from school?
University.
From the university. So in law, for lawyers, graduation starts from law school, right? or from the university?
Yes.
I don't know how you guys do that.
Okay. Yes.
So since after your law school, how long ago?
3 months.
3 months. Okay. So let's say if they ask you, why did you choose this course? I chose this course because I majored in law in my first degree and have been called to bar after my law school, and having been practicing law since 3 months ago, I've encountered I've had opportunity to deal with many since 3 months ago. I've encountered I've had opportunity to deal with many cases. I don't know what area you specialize or areas you can use as your case study. Do you have an area?
Okay. Okay. Yes.
What area?
Matrimonial cases, matrimonial courses, rather.
Okay, good. So these are areas that that in our today's world is very prevalent, and so many cases are coming up there. And the US has similar cases that has to do with matrimonial challenges and divorce cases and all kinds of stuff. So you can build a case study from one of the cases you've had. So we simply say, having been working for the past 3 months as a lawyer, I've encountered several cases of which among them happens to be a case that has to do with, talk about a case, cite a case, and talk about how you were not able to deal with that case because you don't have enough knowledge, because you don't have enough information to be able to access that case. And based on that, you are choosing this course to be able to further your knowledge in law, as well as to have the necessary tools to be able to serve and service the needs of your client. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Good. So this is how you just present it. And you talk about it in a very simple way, like you're having a conversation. Don't make a big deal out of it. You see the way I presented it. So take your time later, go back to this video and see how I presented it and see how you can just articulate that in a very conversational manner. All right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you can build like two cases or 3 cases. Then you talk about in your organization, or talk about Nigeria, which is also one of what should be one of your case studies. Talk about a case study in Nigeria where in this area of law where couples don't get enough, or they are being neglected in terms of the kind of care and attention they needed, but they don't get enough of that because of the nature of our law and the rest of them. And you talk about how you want to solve some of these problems. These are some of the things that your VOs are looking for in a very practical sense. All right?
Yes, sir.
So the second question might be, they may want to know, why did you choose this course? Or sorry, why did you choose this school?
From a reference of a friend who graduated from Illinois.
Can you use bullet points? For the sake of this interview, can you deploy the use of bullet points?
Okay. A friend of mine who is an
No. Bullet points. Hold on. Bullet points simply means, I chose this school for 2 reasons or for 3 reasons, and then your VO, just to secure that attention.
Okay. Okay. I chose this school for 3 reasons. It was referred to me by a friend, an alumni of the university who's also working in Nigeria in XYZ law firm. I also chose this school because the curriculum perfectly aligned with my research interest.
Which is, hold on. Don't just talk about research interest. Break it down.
My research interests, which are social justice, human rights, trans rights advocacy, social intimate partner violence, domestic violence, basically things that run around matrimonial courses.
Period. Continue.
And lastly, I chose
The third point.
Yeah, and lastly, because there's a professor there who's also conducting research in our clinic pertaining to these courses, matrimonial courses, and these research areas. And we had an chance to work under her research or work with her on her research.
Yeah, but you've talked about these whole cases without giving me a reason to believe that you're going back to Nigeria. So you see, that's another red flag you just sent off. Yeah, because when you talk about a school, the first thing you talk about is if you have a reference, mention that reference. Then the second one, do you have a scholarship?
Yes, I do.
How much?
30,000.
Good. So you should give yourself credit for that scholarship. Talk about it. Talk about that scholarship based on your excellent academic records and your research presentation. You were awarded a scholarship to the tune of 30,000, which covers blah blah blah, XYZ. And then the third reason why you chose a school is based on the curriculum which aligns with your research specialization. You mentioned that research, just as you said. And when you mention it, you talk about want to apply it in a Nigerian situation. US law and Nigerian law share something in common. So, but you can apply that experience in such a way that you want to lift this experience and apply it in the Nigerian sector. That is what your VO is expecting. Why did you choose this school? This school has something that they're offering that aligns with what I need or what I have. Because of the kind of professors they have, they've been able to detail to you, or they've been able to convince you that this is, they're offering these things and this is what you're going to use it to do. So there's no specific way to how you can address this question, but you can just make sure you hint on this area in line with what you want to do in Nigeria.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
It does make sense.
Yeah. So, and then the next question may come this way. Who is sponsoring your program, or who is paying for your program? The remaining deficit of your program.
My mother will be sponsoring the deficit of my program.
Okay. So they may want to know what your mom does. You don't have to mention this because this is recorded live. I don't want your personal information there. And they may want to know, so be ready to have any document that they may need. For instance, the bank statement of your mother and some of the details about your mother. They may want to know about that. So be ready to provide all that. Then they may want to know, are you married? Do you have kids or dependents?
No, I'm not married.
Okay.
No, I don't have kids.
All right. So the answer is no, and that's all. You don't have to go into details, but it's unnecessary. Then, have you traveled out of Nigeria before?
I haven't had a reason to travel out of Nigeria.
No. The answer to that question is no. You don't need explanation. It's either yes or no. So always remember, know when a question requires yes or no. For instance, have you traveled out of the country before? No. Are you married? No. Do you have kids or dependents? No. If you have, yes. Let the promptings come from your VO. Because sometimes with this kind of question that they need yes or no, and you start trying to explain or give details, they feel you are either desperate or you have something you're hiding. So you need to avoid that as much as possible. Don't send those red flags yet. All right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any questions so far?
Yes, I do. I've been a bit perturbed about the lack of work experience. Is it going to be a problem?
I don't think you just came out from school. Your VO, they are very understanding. They are not there to expect so much from you. Just present yourself the way you are. Okay? They will understand. I can assure you about that. Your VOs are very understanding. They are body language experts, and they understand. You can't forge work experience when you don't have work experience. So what you're doing now is just a preliminary, just 3 months. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is focus on the first 90 seconds of your interview. That's when they make an impression about you. The way you start, your boldness, your courage, being able to make the interview conversational, being able to answer the questions in a very succinct but precise manner, going straight to the point. These are some of the things they look for. All right.
Okay.
And then the funding also is also very important. So these are some of the areas you need to pay attention. So you shouldn't worry about your working experience. They don't need that. It's not a criteria for getting a visa.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Next person. Who else is ready or who has a question? Who has a question? Hello? David, your hand is up. Does it mean you have a question? Yeah, somebody raised hand up. If you have a question, okay. Yeah. What's
good morning, sir, for the work you are doing too. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
My question goes this way. Is it true that the VO officers usually or mostly denies those who use employer or uncle or aunt as their sponsor? And how can one, beat this if that is the only sponsor that one has?
So it goes this way. If you are coming from, if you have a sponsor who happens to be your parents, that background is stronger than uncle. If you have an uncle and a friend, an uncle is stronger than a friend. If you have a friend and your employer is second to your family. So these are the levels of commitments. You are more committed to your parents than your employer. You are more committed to your employer than your friend, because an employer can sponsor you if they have a need in your organization to get you for career advancement programs. But if you say uncle, there are so many dynamics involved with saying with the concept of uncle. In Nigeria, we have uncle. So uncle simply refers in Nigerian street language as your dad's brother or your mom's brother. But uncle could mean your concubine, your mistress or your mister, or your friend or your sponsor. It can also mean in another language, in the underworld language, as someone who is also sponsoring a trip to send you overseas for something else. So there's so many dynamics, and these body language experts who are called VOs sometimes read into those dynamics, those cultural dynamics. But if you have if you have an option to use a parent instead of an uncle, that's a better chance. But in all, they give visas to everybody, depending on how you present your case. But make sure if you are using your uncle or your aunt or anybody, make sure that this person has a pattern, because they are building a pattern. If you have someone who is sponsoring you and this person has not been able to sponsor somebody before, please, that may not work for you. So if you have someone who has sponsored someone before, make sure you highlight it. When they ask you who is sponsoring you, say your uncle. Don't fail to mention my uncle who also sponsored my sister, my uncle who also sponsored my elder brother in the UK, and they are back in Nigeria. By so doing, you're already laying foundation, connecting the foundation of the pattern that the VO needs to hear. Oh, so if you have this uncle who sponsored your brother, and your brother went overseas and studied and is back in Nigeria, the chances are higher that if I give you a visa, that you still respect the visa and come back when the time is up. So these are how they build that pattern. Does this answer your question in any way?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, any other person? All right. So please subscribe if you're here. I sent the link, the YouTube link on the chat. Please subscribe so that you know when I'm online. Okay, Mona, you have a question. Hold on a second. So please subscribe, like, and share this in any group you belong so you know when I'm online. I'm going to be back here today. I'm off today from work, so I'm going to come online again. So subscribe so you know when I go on live, so you can join me on this same link, on this same platform. We'll connect again. And if you're ready and you have friends who need to join, please bring them in to join us with their questions. Yes, Mona, you have a question.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
I was wondering whether I can be interviewed. I have my interview in 2 weeks, but I just want to.
All right.
Get ready.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
So, is this your first visa interview?
Yes, it is.
I don't mean with me. I mean generally.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Have you traveled out of the country before?
Yes, I have.
Where did you travel to?
I've been to the UK. London, to be precise.
All right. So what did you go to the UK to do?
My father was sick, so I went with him for his treatment.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I studied him for his treatment, and he had a stroke.
Okay.
So I'm the fourth son, so I was the one who followed him for his treatment.
Okay. So you could just save the conversation because you don't have all the time. Why did you go to the UK? It was a medical trip. You accompanied your dad who was sick. You see how you could just summarize and save this time, right? Yeah, it was a medical trip. It was for medical reasons, as a matter of fact. So you can save that time because you don't have all that. So by so doing, you have built a pattern. When you mention that, they want to know, okay, you have an opportunity to travel, and you could have just stayed back, even though you have your sick father. So, so they may want to ask you, where are you traveling to?
I'm traveling to Virginia.
When they ask you that question, they are simply asking you to talk about your school and the location of your school.
Oh, okay. I'm traveling to James Madison University, Virginia.
Period. And what are you going there to do?
I'm going for my master's degree program in sports and recreation leadership.
In what?
Sports and recreation leadership.
Okay. So why did you choose this course, or what's so important to you about this course?
I chose this course for 3 reasons. Firstly, I I played amateur and professional football for 6 years, and during the secondly, during the course of my career, I was able to meet and have different experiences with different people, and I realized that the management system in Nigeria is not up to date, and I would like to be able to assist and make some changes which will help the upcoming generation in terms of the resources that they have at their disposal. And thirdly, I have with my experience in project management, I would like to be able to organize sporting events and top-notch activities to bring more light to bring more light to the talents that we have here in Nigeria.
All right. So, did you? Let me just backtrack a little bit. Are you subscribed on this YouTube?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I would want you to go back and review this video and listen to yourself. I want you to do that so you see how your question, what I asked you, and what you're saying, and I'm going to pick some of them. You presented 3 cases, and when you present 3 cases, you simply shoot yourself on the foot because there's an inconsistent progression in your case. You started talking about football, and then you started talking about course, and then you went into project management. These are 3-dimensional cases, 3-dimensional areas. So when you shoot this way, you shoot off the track. You have to have a line, an ideological wavelength that is consistent. You either talk about sports, or you talk about football, or you talk about project management. You can't talk about 3 of them at the same time because they are not going to argue for your case. And before me, you are not able to convince me this way.
Okay.
All right. So you really need to pick what the area you want to dwell in. I want you to do that. I don't want to go on that in this interview. Maybe in our next interview, I'll be back here this afternoon so that we'll go through it. I want you to go by yourself and review this clip. Yes.
Yeah. Why I mentioned it because you said we have to link what we currently do to why we're doing because
yes.
My current work is I work as a project.
Yeah, but I said it's conditional. I said it's only in connection with helping you to appeal for your case, to argue your case. If you are working in a textile industry and you want to go and okay, let me say it now. If you're working in a bank and your area of concentration is in the hospital and you want to use hospital as an argument to present banking industry, it cannot work.
Yeah.
So you have to present it if it will help you to argue your case. If it's not going to help you to argue your case, so why do you bring it in? Because all it will present is 2 ideological wavelengths. One argument on the right, another argument on the left. And at the end, you have not been able to establish something. If I am seeing your hand, hold on, I'm going to call you. So when you shoot that way, you shoot off the track. So I want you in the next interview to be able to identify an area so that I can build on that. I don't want to pick for you. All right? Yeah. I don't want to pick for you. Just subscribe. And then when I go online again, you'll be able to see me. I should be here between 2 or 3 p.m. I need to go back. I need to go to bed and sleep. And then when I wake up, then we can review that. Then if they ask you, why did you choose this school?
Okay. I chose this school for 3 reasons. Firstly, it was recommended to me by a mentor of mine here in Nigeria. Secondly, I have a graduate assistantship role with the School of Professional and Continuing Education, where I get to come up with sports programs for the elderly.
Hold on. Where did you get this GA? Where?
Sorry?
Where did you get the GA, the graduate assistantship?
With School of Continuing and Professional Education.
You mean here in the US or back in Nigeria?
In James Madison.
All right. So, do you remember the question? Do you understand the question?
Yes, you said, why did I pick the school?
Okay. So, can you tell me why you picked the school? You've talked about reference, right? The first one.
Yeah, I've talked about reference.
Okay, the second one. Do you have a scholarship?
Yeah, I have a graduate assistantship role.
Okay.
Thirdly, the curriculum of the course includes internship, which gives you hands-on experience and you get to meet professionals in the industry.
Okay, that's good. Then, who will be taking care of your who will be paying for your program?
Sorry?
Who will be paying for your program?
Aside the graduate assistantship, which covers my tuition, my mother.
I asked you earlier, do you have a scholarship?
Okay, the graduate assistantship covers my tuition.
How much is your tuition?
My tuition is 37,000.
So
and the graduate assistantship is giving me 31,000.
That is exactly. You see, this is a very simple question I asked you, and it took you to make me extract the information from you. You see, your VOs, look at what they are looking for. Your school fees is how much?
Sorry?
It looks like you're distracted, and it's distracting me right now.
It's raining heavily, so
okay. All right. So I asked you a question. I said, how much is your school fees?
87,000.
And how much is your scholarship?
81,000.
Why did you prefer to talk to me about graduate internship to hide this very important information that can help you to argue your case? Why do you need to save the juicy, the most important part of your information last? Why? You see, this is a mistake that a lot of us make. The question is, do you have a scholarship? And you started talking about graduate internship. You are more concerned about the role you are playing rather than getting the visa. It's just a little semantic, and they will just take you that. And when you start talking about graduate internship, they will be like, okay, oh, he doesn't even have a funding. That's the impression you're creating for me. And it's taking me digging into your life to be able to pull that information. You don't have to. Give yourself credit for what you have. So it simply means how much balance is remaining?
6,000.
Good. So why don't you sell yourself? Because this is a key for you to get a visa. Your tuition is almost funded. Why don't you talk about it? It's a credit. If they say, okay, why did you choose this school? I chose this school, first of all, for 3 reasons. First of all, you talk about reference. Secondly, I think it should be about 97% scholarship. 97% scholarship, right? Or 93, I don't know. But you have to break it in percentage. Talk about it, give yourself credit for that. So that your VOs, when they are making a decision, they'll be like, okay, your tuition is almost full, almost completed. So they can consider you. You have to present your logic. All these things they are talking about, graduate internship, they are not interested in that. It's a secondary matter.
So they actually cover the tuition, it's just the other expenses that I need to cover. They cover the tuition and they give me a stipend as well. So I just cover the living expenses and other.
So so in other words, your tuition is fully funded.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me this one, my brother? You are even coming up with more information. You see, it's just like your lawyer. When you go to meet a lawyer and you didn't present all your case in one hand, your lawyer can only argue from what he has. I'm not here to give you what to say. I'm here to look at your information, process it for you, and present it for you in a way that will be able to argue your case before your visa officer. But it looks like you are bringing them one after the other. If you go there and they ask you this question about your funding, please don't do this thing you did with me right now there, because I don't understand you. And the only thing I want to hear is your tuition is fully funded and you have a graduate assistant role that covers your tuition and everything. Why don't you present it this way? This is what they're looking for. Does it make sense, my brother?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Please don't make this mistake. You see all this thing we are running around is not worth it. If you have a fully funded tuition, you have a higher chance of getting a visa if you present your case well. So if they, in the absence of every other thing, I'm going to just end here until we meet again. By the time you'll be able to answer that question I asked you earlier, why did you choose this course? You need to clarify to your VO why you chose that course.
Okay.
Then the next question might be, are you married? Do you have kids?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So far, you stressed me out. Honestly, you stressed me out.
I'm sorry about that.
You don't have to be sorry. You didn't. It's not a. It's a process that has to help you get the right answers, and this is what I want to achieve. Your ability to know what they are looking for instead of keeping it behind. You don't have to keep those information behind.
Yeah.
All right. So go back to your drawing board. Answer that question I asked you that you blew into 3 places. Put them together so that if we meet again, you should be able to answer that question. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So take your time and listen to this video and listen to yourself.
Okay, I will.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to take questions. Ifeanyi, you raised your hand earlier. I don't know if you still have a question. Marilyn, you raised your hand. I don't know if you still have a question. Okay. After Ifeanyi, Marilyn, you go. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the videos you've been doing. I've subscribed to your channel. I'm really grateful for the sessions you've been having. God bless you, sir. So please, I'm looking forward to having my visa interview in the month of October. And I've been preparing towards that. So I'm hoping that you could access me to see my level of preparation. I wouldn't know if you have the time, sir.
Yes. Let me take Marilyn's question, and then I'll take you on.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Marilyn, you have a question?
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Okay, I actually been denied previously.
How long ago?
In June.
In June, okay.
Yes. So I was actually given Section 214B as a reason of my denial. So I wanted to know whether it was okay for me to answer the questions that they asked in that letter, that blue paper that they usually give. If it was okay for me to answer it in that portion of my DS 160 where they say your reason.
Okay.
What was your reason? Yes.
So were you the one that put up this question on YouTube?
No.
Okay.
On your DM.
Okay, somebody asked that question on YouTube and I did respond to that. So your VOs, this is how they work. If they give you a visa, they have to justify it. If they deny you a visa, they have to justify it. Whatever reason or whatever decision they make, they will put it down there. So they already know why you were denied visa. They know that. They know why you were denied visa. They're going to put it down there. That's what they type.
Okay.
And when they ask you, in that DS-160, why were you denied visa? I don't know what you were asked. You want to go back with me on that? Okay, tell me about it.
I was asked what have I been doing since my graduation, and I was also asked about my sponsor, who was going to sponsor me. And then while I was giving them the answer to then I also asked me when I finished school, and then I made a mistake. What I wrote on my DS-160 was 2007. But I now told him 2008 because my course actually ended in 2007. But it was 2008 that I actually got it. January 2008, I actually collected my certificate. So I told him 2007. And then also I'm going with my spouse who is actually working in Nigeria here. So when he asked me who's my sponsor, I told him that it was my spouse who was with me here. And then I told him what he does.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I told him what he does. Can I say it?
No, you don't have to. Okay. This is recorded. So, was your spouse there at the embassy with you?
Yes.
Okay. So, like if you were here when I started earlier, your VOs are body language experts. Once they suspect any doubt, any inconsistency, automatically they will suspend that interview. They will not give you visa. Once you create doubt, no matter how small, your background is noisy and is distracting.
I'm sorry about that.
Can you take care of it a little bit? So once you give them a reason to doubt you, they apply what the Latin people say, in dubio non agere, in doubt no action. So when you create that doubt, automatically they will suspend action because it's better to err on the side of caution because they don't know you. They don't want to get involved in a situation whereby they don't know who you are. So how could you make such a... I'm not judging you right now. So you graduated in 2007 and you told them 2008. How did that mistake come about?
Actually, I finished my course in 2007. So I had actually written 2007 on my DS-164. But when I now got there, somehow I kind of, I don't know how it came about, but I just said to time because that was when I actually collected my certificate, and that's the date that I
but
certificate.
Yeah, your certificate does not. The argument we all went to school in Nigeria. When you graduated and when you pick your certificate, they are not the same. Your graduation is the very day you finished your exams. That's the day you graduated. Certificate has nothing to do with your graduation. You and I know that very well, right? So instead of arguing that your certificate makes your graduation, you know very well that certificate does not make graduation. Graduation was the very day you dropped that pen, right? And that was 2007.
Yes.
So I graduated in 2007 too. So I can't go and say, okay, the day I graduated was the day I got my certificate. No, that was not the day I graduated. I graduated the very day, on that July, the day I dropped my pen. So these are little mistakes, but they are very important because of everything you can forget. This is how they argue. Why should this person forget the day of your graduation? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
There are things that you forget and they set off a red flag. One is the day you graduated from school. You may forget the date, you may forget the month, but you can't forget the year. These are landmark times in human life, in human history. So when you set up that red flag, you might be tensed up. You might have a good reason for that, but they are not there to look at your truth or your lies. They are looking at the logic, the argument you are presenting. There's an inconsistency. You wrote on the paper 2007 and then you say 2008. So back to your question, how do you present this? the reason why you were denied. You were denied because you were denied because you were tensed up, you were nervous.
Exactly. Because I was tensed up when I was even answering those questions, and I was kind of repeating the same thing.
Good. So you can, they understand that. But even though it worked against you, but you were denied because you were nervous and you mistakenly mentioned the wrong date. You don't need to state it there. They know already. All right.
Okay.
You were denied because you were nervous and you mistakenly mentioned the wrong year of your graduation. Period.
Okay. So what about the because those are questions that you asked me before you now came to who is sponsoring your education. I don't have a scholarship, and you asked me who sponsoring my education, and I was like, it's my husband that's sponsoring my education. And my husband only had the intention of just helping me to go there and settle in, and while he comes back to his work here in Nigeria. But I wasn't able to even state that. And then also on the DS-160 form, I had feel that the duration of his stay was from the period of my stay there till when I finished my. So I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know whether that one would also be another flash day.
You said his duration of stay will be what?
Only his 4 weeks vacation. That was when he was going to stay with me.
Yeah, I will encourage anybody, if you have an F2, do you know how F1 and F2, how it works?
Yes. How do you mean how it works?
Do you know the relationship between F1 and F2?
Yes, the relationship is dependent on the F1.
Good.
F2 is dependent on the F1.
Good. So you are the principal person. And yes, there won't be any visa for F2 if F1 does not have one.
Doesn't exist. Okay.
Good. Yeah. So if F2 is coming, I encourage people, don't take more than 2 weeks. If you take any days more than 2 weeks, you have to explain. Like it becomes suspicious. Because it's in your argument, you can present that he's coming to help you settle in while you are going for your orientation and registration and classes. He'll be helping you to settle down and get your apartment, your accommodations ready and all that, which is understandable. How long have you been married?
4 years.
Okay, so your marriage is still young and fragile, so which makes sense. But what did you state earlier? What is it again? You mentioned something earlier. I've forgotten how you started that.
I said that he's the one that's sponsoring my education. Although he works with an American company as a field engineer, and he also is the manager of my father's company in Nigeria here. So, but I didn't state all of that. I didn't say all that today. I only told him that he manages a company. I mentioned the company name, and then.
Did you mention that? Did you mention that U.S. company?
No, I did not.
Why?
I did not.
You see, you had me talk to the first person. Hold on.
I didn't know.
Hold on. You had me talk about to the first caller. You had me talk about why do you always prefer to keep the juicy information first? That embassy has access to every company that is US owned. They have access to that information in their database. If they have any information, they will go back there and fish it out. They know it's more reliable to deal with. So you would have started with that. Secondly, you don't make the mistakes of allowing your tension to argue for you. Thirdly, when you have an F2 coming with you, please avoid having more than 2 weeks on paper. Even if you intended that. Yes, avoid anything that will make you say the person will be staying more than 2 weeks. I don't know what that person will be doing.
Okay.
So these are some of the red flags you need to avoid.
Okay.
Otherwise, your visa should have gone very well. And then practice and practice and practice. I always say this: tension can make you lose consciousness, and then you start speaking in tongues. Yes, I was a victim of that. So I was a victim of that. So you should be able to make your visa conversation, make your visa interview as conversational as possible. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
if
sir.
you schedule again, let me know. I will need to interview
I'm
you and
scheduled
you.
for 19th.
Okay. 19th.
Yes.
Okay. So
September, yes.
before then, 48 hours. 48 hours before that, please. 48 hours before that, let me know. 19th should be, hold on, let me check.
Tuesday.
19th should be Tuesday. Okay, so I'm usually off on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So
is there no a way I can have a one like 5 days before, then I have another one again, just to see my improvement?
I can't use my work hours for this.
Okay.
Unless I don't. That's why I'm doing this free. I don't want to get it across. My work doesn't have to suffer for this. So usually I do it on my off days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or Sunday night. So we can always do that, unless something comes up or there's an emergency, then I can do that. But outside that, I want to do it when it's convenient for me, so that my job, my work doesn't have to suffer.
Okay, so I have one last question I wanted to ask, please.
All right.
Okay, so now my admission, I have to defer my admission, but I haven't been provided with a letter for the deferment and the new I-20. I've been on the school, but they said I should be patient. They will give it to me soon. I don't know if for any reason I am not able to get the I-20 before then. Can I use the old one?
No, you can't. You can't, because I have somebody who had that situation, and they had to ask him to update. They had to refer him to tell the school to update. In fact, they kept his passport. They wanted to give him a visa, but they kept his passport and asked him to, get his school to update their information. So it's called administrative clearance or something. Okay. So you don't wanna put yourself in that situation.
No, I don't.
And currently, when school resumes, usually when school resumes, you have to give them some time to also clear their table. All right. Yeah. So you have to give them time to clear that table. So at the moment, they are dealing with the new admits for the session, and your session will be probably for next year. So you don't want them.
I can't reschedule my appointment again. I don't have reschedule option anymore. I don't know.
Well, nothing is impossible. Still talk to your school. Let them know what your case is. Okay. Yeah, let them know what your case is, and then let them know that you can reschedule, and see if there's anything they can do. If they can, they will let you know, but I don't think it's impossible.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible.
God bless you.
Bless you too, and I wish you all the best. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
You're welcome. So, Marilyn, thank you for your patience.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
Okay, sorry, Ifeanyi, thank you for your patience too. And
thank you, sir.
You have a question?
Okay, I'm looking forward to a visa interview, so I just want you to help me access my preparation so far.
Okay. So before you, is there any other person here who has a question? Because I need to go to bed at 2 a.m. and this is 9 minutes to 2. So I hope all of you will understand, because I need to come back here so that we continue about 3 p.m. So after this, if you have any questions before now, I can take the question and then close up with the last caller. After this last caller, I'll be closing the conversation. Okay. All right. Ifeanyi, is this your first interview?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And have you been outside the country before?
No, I haven't, sir.
Okay. And where are you traveling to?
I'm traveling to Michigan State University at East Lansing.
At where?
East Lansing, Michigan State.
Okay. And what are you going there to do?
I'll be pursuing my PhD in plant breeding, genetics, and biotechnology program.
I'm going to take another route right now. So, do you have a fully funded? Do you have is this program fully funded?
Yes, I received a fully funded program. I'll be working as a
fully funded. Hold on, fully funded. You received a fully funded scholarship. Just put it that way.
Okay, I received a fully funded scholarship, sir.
Okay, and yeah, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Because I received a fully funded scholarship in the Department of Plant Breeding, Genetics, and Biotechnology, where I'll be working with Professor David Dauchis, who is the head of.
Hold on. You digress, and I thought you were going to say something. So the question was, is this program fully funded?
Yes, it is fully funded.
Scholarship, period. And once you say that, they'll start typing. Just for you to notice that, take note of that. Once you say that, they'll start typing. So you have a fully funded program. Why did you choose this course?
Okay, I chose this course for a couple of reasons. First, I work as a researcher and a lecturer.
No. Don't say a couple of reasons. If you are going to use bullet point, please specify so that your VO knows where they are holding you, how long they're going to be patient with you.
Okay. I chose this course for 3 reasons. Firstly, I work as a researcher and a lecturer in the academia in Nigeria. And over the years, I've observed that sweet potato production in Nigeria is hampered by late blight disease. And my interest is to explore genetic and genomic tools in order to combat this disease or sweet potato production, and also to help produce improved varieties, pursuing my PhD in the school. And secondly, Michigan State University has a trial project here in Nigeria, just precisely. And being a Nigerian, it connects so much to me personally that I could use my knowledge of potato breeding in Nigeria to participate also in the project. And lastly, Michigan State offers computational skill training for doctoral students in the program. So it will help to improve my competence in data analysis while in the program, which will help me upon my return to Nigeria to improve my competency on the job, and also to bring back home the skills I'll be getting in the program to help me improve potato breeding in Nigeria.
So do you have specific what's the right word now? Species of potatoes in Nigeria?
Yes, we have
that is unique to Nigeria.
Potatoes. Yes, we have potatoes that are unique to Nigeria, but I've not actually gotten their names handy.
Please, can you get on that? Use them to buttress your case. Do you know what the reason why I'm drawing this? I want you to personalize the experience of your case. Privatize the experience. When you're talking to your VO, you talk like an authority.
Okay, sir.
All right. So you make a comparative analysis. Your expression is okay. I like the tone in your voice. There is no tension, even if there is, I can't feel it that much. And you made it conversational, but slow down when you're talking. English is not your language, so slow down so that they can understand. I know when people get tensed up, they tend to speak faster. But
yes,
when you're talking about this genome and the rest of them, make a comparative analysis about the current species of potato in Nigeria and what they are suffering, and how you want to use this experience to solve that problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Especially with the area where you're working in this research, that is a problem that you are encountering.
Yes, sir.
I can bet you your visa is in your hand. I can bet you. I can bet you on that.
Yes, sir.
But you have to present your case well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's a very good reason that you get your visa, because food genetics is a very big deal in the US today. That's why people are suffering and people are either healthy or sick. And those are solution-based cases. And I always tell people education provides two things. Either you are solving a problem or you are providing a solution. And your case study is a direct solution-based case to our food industry and to our food world. So your VO will be very, very interested in seeing how you present your case. So get the species of the Nigerian potato and find out the problem that these potatoes are having and talk about it as your research. As a case study that you're working on. And everything you are pointing at, point it in direction that you are coming back home to solve this problem, because this problem is what you figured out in your organization that it's a problem in Nigeria that you need to solve. That's why you're going on this research. All right, and PhD students is worthy of honor. So congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So are you married? Do you have kids?
Okay, I'm married, but I don't have kids yet.
How long have you been married?
3 years, sir.
Is your spouse traveling with you?
Yeah, she'll be coming along with me, sir.
So she'll be there at the embassy?
Yes.
Okay, that's very good. So I always encourage young marriages to go with their spouse. I always encourage that. If you have your spouse and your marriage is not up to 5-6 years, please go with your wife.
Okay, sir.
And
because she intends to stay the full time with me. Is that fine?
It's yes, it's in the visa. So long as you are there, your F2 can stay there. All right.
Okay,
but they may want to know what will she be doing. So that's where the 2 weeks comes in. I always encourage people. They may want to know what will she be doing. You can't stay idle, and you don't give an impression that you have nothing to do. You understand what I'm saying? So
yes,
you don't want to give your VO that impression that she's staying full time with you, even if she is. So you have to present it in a way that is reasonable enough for anybody who is interested in giving you a visa.
So would volunteering be a good way to answer that question? That should be volunteering in a humanitarian organization over there.
Please, just don't let that F2 spoil your opportunity. Can you focus on yourself? Focus on yourself, and she's coming to help you settle down while you're doing your orientation and doing your registration. She will help you to settle in, and she's spending not more than 2 weeks. I don't want you to just go there and use that. You go there and she smashes your VO starts smiling at you and making you start confessing. This is the problem Nigerians have. Just be very careful.
Okay, well, on the other hand, I was thinking
because you have to be reasonable. If you tell me she'll be staying all the time with you, I'll be like, okay, oh, so she doesn't even have a job in Nigeria, and that's a red flag. So she'll be coming there to just be a burden. Because F2 is not entitled to anything. You are not going to school. What will you be doing at home? You don't even want to think about that she'll be coming there to stay full time with you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. I will just simply, okay, oh, so this is your plan. No visa.
Okay, sir. I get the point, sir.
Yeah, you have a question you wanted to ask?
Yes, I was thinking, on the other hand, sir, if the reason that, okay, this is a young family, so how will you cope having your wife away from you for the 3 or 4 years of your program? So that was what informed our thought that, okay, she could come along to stay full time.
Yeah.
Well, I get your point now.
Yeah, they understand that. Even if you think it, you don't say it. They are they know that your wife will be there with you. They understand. Once you put F2, they are putting all this into consideration. Your VOs are very smart. They are body language expert. They know. But you being unreasonable is what I'm talking about.
That's true.
They know these things. Even when you are coming to the US, they know you are not coming back. Trust me. They know you are not coming back. But they need you to put on paper that you are coming back in Nigeria too. Because with the way Nigeria is going, nobody coming from Nigeria to this place wants to go back. They know all this. But when you go there and become immature and stupid enough to say, I want to work in the US, of course, they will tell you that, oh, this is not possible. So you don't act premature. You don't act like you don't know, you don't have your common sense anymore.
Yes, sir.
So don't get food when you get a smiley face and a cheerful conversation and you be like, oh, I need to say everything. Please do not say what you are not asked. And hold your guard when those smiles start coming up. When it feels like, oh, she's so nice, he's so good, he likes us. Please, that's when you can get dropped.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
All right. All right. I wish you all the best. I thank you all for coming here. Please go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and share. I'll meet you guys later in the day, maybe about 9 or 10. This is 2:05 a.m. I need to go to bed right now, and I'll join you guys later. Okay. So I have tomorrow, Tuesday, and I have Wednesday. So I will have sessions with all of you. So meet me again, and thank you. Please share this video and subscribe. And you can go back to this video and listen to it and see what we've done in the past hour and a half. All right. Thank you, everybody who joined, and I wish you all the best and a blessed day.